market outlook. And I was like, you know what? That's like the thing that I feel like is most common, but not for me, which is ironic because that's what I do all the time. But so I was like, you know what? I feel like everybody always does a market outlook, but I'm like, you know what? I got so far away from the market outlooks that it's been forever. So I wanted to go over some charts with you guys, go over, some forex, indices, metals. I'm gonna go over everything. So I'll go over the fundamentals so we can kind of get a better understanding of what to expect. But yeah, let's dive into it, family. Let me hit record real quick and then we'll do the thing. So we are doing market outlook. It is August 21st. So we'll be going over what to expect from today up until the 25th. All right. So we got Monday through Friday. It's really more so like 4 trading days left. Indices were wild today, but it's an interesting week because most of the news is on the back end. So yeah, let's dive into it. If you guys have specific pairs you want me to look at, if you have some charts you want me to look at, just drop them in the chat and then I'll take a look at them. And we got gold, EU, normal, fan favorites. I see y'all. So yeah, let me dive right in. I actually just got a silver alert. So I don't even remember what that alert was from. So I see a lot of gold, a lot of GJ. Okay, US 30. I'll definitely go over indices and what to expect for tomorrow. But yeah, let's dive right into it. So I'm gonna start with just taking a look first at what can we expect for this week. What's the smartest approach to this week? And if you look at Monday, it is blank. There's nothing going on here. So nothing going on here. We have tomorrow a whole bunch of nothing. So if you are indice traders, then obviously we have New York Open and the fun that comes along with that. Usually, if you're a small time frame trader, you should get a setup even on no fundamental days. So there should be a setup or two that pops up. So if you trade US 30, NASDAQ, S&P, you should be chilling regardless. Outside of that, we do have dollar pairs. Probably not much going to happen. Just going to be real. Probably not too much. But Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday, man. Wednesday gets good. Now, I'm in Central Time, so everything you're looking at right now is Central Standard Time. And I'm seeing some names that I don't recognize, so I'll introduce myself real quick. I kind of forget to do that. My name is Mike Navarrete. I have been in this trading space for almost 9 years now. I've been doing this live streaming every single day since December of 2017 for at least an hour or two every day. So we've done most of it live setup. So I'm grateful to have a stupid amount of time on these charts, probably too much time. But I am grateful to be here. And so, my goal here is to just give you guys insight, perspective that maybe you don't have, so you can go and do amazing things yourselves. Literally what I want is for everyone to have the skills and the abilities to live free. And that's it. Live success based on whatever way you define it. And so let's dive into it, right? Now, we have Euro news, Wednesday London session, and pound. So double. So not tomorrow, but after. So Wednesday morning, if you're in the US, and then, Wednesday, Tuesday into Wednesday here, and then GBP and Euro. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different news events, but the timing is 3 different timings. So if you're a London session trader, you are in for a good time on Wednesday and on Friday. Now, if you're a New York session trader, then you got a good week ahead of you, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Friday is going to be really interesting because we have this Jackson Hole symposium where a lot of the big dogs get together and talk big dog things. So anything is fair game, basically. Like anything can move. So Friday's going to be really interesting. And good news for us, on Friday is our first live session, live analysis event in Chicago. So everyone in Chicago, we're going to experience all of this together, which is going to be awesome. And then, so that's what we have going on now for next week, right? So not this week, but next week, we do have Monday will be a mellow day. So Cali will go over on Monday. Phoenix will be in Phoenix on Wednesday. Phoenix will have some dollar news. So we'll be able to play the aftermath of that. And then Dallas, not this Friday, but next Friday, we'll have dollar news to play into as well. And then Miami on the 4th of September, we'll be doing a workshop. So we do have a lot of fun coming our way. But let's focus on what's nearest. Let's focus on what's closest to us. Chicago turn up. You already know. Don't play. So let's dive into it. Remember, guys, this is open, so y'all can feel free to invite whoever. And let's dive in. So we're going to start with, because the first news event is euro and pound. I could go over that, but one more time, guys, in these chats, please blow it up with what pairs you want me to look at. To my understanding, I think I got US 30, gold, and GBP, JPY the most, and then Euro USD I saw as well. So GU. All right, so let's do this. I saw GU first, so I'm going to just do that. And then I'm going to just sling out as many charts as humanly possible within the next 30 minutes, give or take. Okay. Bitcoin, UCAD, GJ, so everyone decided to choose something different. That's great. Y'all are great. Okay. So let's dive into it. Right now, this is how I see, this is what I had this marked up from last week. So this is kind of where I'm at. I was looking for sells here with GBP USD. We did get, a good 55 pip drop here, another about 90 pip drop here as well. So we did play off of these levels. However, we are noticing that price action is staying pretty bullish. Prices is chilling up here pretty nicely. So let's zoom out and see where we're at overall, and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna actually reset my entire chart, and then we'll start kind of from scratch. I'm not gonna do a full thorough top down, but I will be doing enough, right? So the daily. Now the thing is well, I'm gonna start with the weekly. I'm gonna start with the monthly, and I'm not gonna do a whole markup for this whole thing, but I want you guys to notice something. This is a monthly chart. So GBP USD, we saw last month go all the way up to 1.314, and then it lost about a good 300 pips. This wick is a 300 pip wick. So that just kind of shows me that, was GU really that bullish, or was it just filling in balance for the market to then come back? Something to think about. And then when you look at the weekly, right, you guys see all of this time here. We see all of 2022 basically just melt away up until Q4, and then we started getting that comeback, that rally. So GBP USD has finally filled all of this imbalance, and as soon as it did that, price didn't really stabilize up here. And that's something that I love to teach you guys is technical analysis is great, but you got to learn how to read between the lines, right? You have to learn how to see what the market is telling you without the market having to tell you. So when price gives us a weekly candle close up here, let me zoom in real quick. If you get something like this, and then immediately price just reverses, the question is, what was the intention of price coming up here? Was it to give us higher highs? Or was it to lure in buyers, liquidate sellers, and then bring price back? So we got to think about these things. And remember, guys, make sure that you are involved in this chat, ask questions. That's what it's for. So people say right here, is it an institutional candle? Well, I don't really believe in, that's a tricky question, because price doesn't really move just based off of one candle. So we would have to dig into this candle. But if you wanted to overly simplify, this looks like that's what it is. It looks like price shot up to eliminate everyone who was selling, lure in buyers for the market to turn around. That is what it looks like. This is like taking the red pill. Facts. So for the average person, how long do you think technicals could be learned? The average person, I mean, your definition of average might be different than mine, but I think if you're relatively consistent and you can have a good grasp on technicals within 6 months, 9 months, not that you're going to be profitable in that moment, but let's say you can give this an hour of your day for 6, 9 months, you should have a good understanding of the technicals, for sure. So, all right, now let's go to the daily. So I'm not going to all these charts to mark up every time frame, to mark up every single little last detail, because I'm not going to be trading at those levels. So I don't really care. But what I do want to know is intention. That's what I'm really mostly curious about. And so when early July, we saw the market just go insane, right? We saw this fly up 390 pips. At this point, and so this is a kind of like a lesson and also a market outlook. My mindset can't just give you guys analysis. I have to explain everything. Like, that's just how I always do it. I can't stop educating ever. I just have to. So we saw something like this, right? So this is the classic break and retest kind of pattern. This is what, people, every retail textbook, you're going to learn these types of patterns and behaviors. And what you guys need to understand is, well, what drives price, right? What really takes care of price? Is it patterns, or is it an exchange of money? It's always an exchange of money. So when we're looking at how the market moves, right? Price came into here, and look, anyone who is buying here, these are the easiest break and retest buys, about 190 pips. That's not how I trade, but this lured in a ton of buyers. And then what happened, guys? As soon as this looked like it was on its way to higher highs, look at how aggressive this candle turns around. 200, look at that, 200 plus pips in a day, the market drops. So this lured in enough buyers for everything to come right back down. Just like that. So, cool. What do we know now? If we're thinking about structure, so let me simplify things. Let me take a step back, because I know for some of you, you're like, whoa, what's going on? So structure, right? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, and then the market is kind of back here, right? So this is what we're looking at right now. This is what's happening. So technically, we're still bullish on the daily. Right here, you saw the pullback, and then right now it is leaving equal lows. So you already know what that probably means. But right now, technically, the daily is bullish. Now, is it going to stay bullish? I don't think so. So what do we do next? I look at structure and I use that just to understand direction and to understand, okay, how far, if I do get into a buy or a sell, how far can I really take this trade? So how long can I stretch my risk to reward if I'm going to buy or if I'm going to sell? That's really why I'm looking at higher time frames. I don't really take entries on these time frames because I have smaller ones that give me the details. So once we understand structure, from there, I'm looking for retail money. So where in the market is there, positions that the common trader could take? So I'll zoom in a little bit more. Now we have the 4-hour time frame. And at this point, when I look at the market here, this is kind of, where we're at, where price has been ranging in. These are just relative zones. Like, these are prices that actually matter compared to where we're at right now. So when I see this, what do you guys see first? What first stands out to everybody? If you're here, what stands out to you first when you look at this chart? And then and you're looking at retail patterns. So support, resistance, trend lines. What do you guys see first? Imbalance to mitigate, lower lows. Okay, what else do you guys see? Let me see here. I want to make sure people are learning. Head and shoulders. Okay. So here's what I see, right? First things that speak to me is this right here. I see that price came down here, left, came right back. So I'm looking at 4-hour equal lows. This to me looks like liquidity. Now, this looks like a place where a lot of buy positions, I feel like a lot of buy positions may live here. So if I am a buyer in these areas, my stop loss is under this low. Okay, so I see motive for price to come down here. That's what I see immediately. Now, obviously, we've been seeing that price has worked its way down since for the last 5-6 weeks or so. So if we're looking at that as well, and we're looking at how price is working its way down, see a little bit of imbalance over here. What is imbalance? Remember, guys, imbalance is when the market does something like this. Imbalance is when the market just aggressively drops in one direction without the deep, healthy pullbacks. So imbalance is when we have something like this, tiny pullback, another, like sometimes you get it happening again. So kind of what happened here. Here, the market drops aggressively, no real pullback. You see kind of just empty space. Same thing here, market shoots up and then just aggressive drop without any real pullbacks. Now, maybe it happened on smaller time frames, and we can take a look at that. But for now, might not be the case. Don't listen, guys. Don't take any advice from anybody in the chat here, because you don't know who's serious or who's not. All right. So when we notice this, first thing I'm looking at is where is retail money? That's the first thing, because you just want to organize your thoughts. If you're labeling and structuring everything all just, you're going to miss stuff if you don't have a process. So for me, and I'm not giving advice, I'm just showing you what I do. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm going to look for liquidity retail patterns first. All right. And then we can get into smaller time frames if we want to get more detail as well. So if I'm looking at this and I'm looking at, okay, what's relative for the week? And where are we at here recently in price? Okay, let's go look at it then. So what I notice is we want to look for retail money, and then we want to look for, okay, where is there quote unquote institutional money? Where are there orchestrated positions? You know, where can you tell like, oh, these are really big movements. I wonder who or what moved price here. So first thing that really piques my interest is this big push up here. So I see something like this, and that's a big move. So we see that. So here, GBP USD, we can tell, oh, there's a big zone right there. And I like to make these red, so you just kind of naturally think about like sells. Easier for you guys to remember what to do in these situations. And then what did we saw? Well, there was kind of like a resistance, equal highs right here. So price goes up on purpose, liquidates sellers, and then traps buyers in the zone. Then and only then does price then work its way down. Okay, so we can see there's a big buy position open from the whales, right? The big money in the market. So at some point, price is going to gravitate towards these levels. At some point, we should see a sell-off from this zone. We have some news this week. Maybe that happens, right? Maybe that happens this week. That's totally possible. So from there, cool. We have a position. This is a valid zone where I could possibly sell. Now, before I get ahead of myself, I do always look at Euro USD alongside GBP USD in case they're moving similarly And it's like, all right, well, which one do I want to take? So you always want to keep that in mind. Now you have that and you have imbalance. Cool. So we're working our way into GU. We're slowly but surely getting detail on what's going on with these charts. So at one point, guys, you noticed that the market was trending here. What a coincidence, price spiked up. Now we have kind of a newer, a newer high here. And look at what's happening right now. People are like, oh, look, if it gets to this line, this invisible trend line, I'm just going to randomly sell. Okay, well, why? I don't know. But that's the pattern. So now we're getting at a point where could there be a lot of retail sells across these zones? So I wouldn't be surprised if we had sells happen here during New York session, right? Makes sense. Earlier today, I'm almost guaranteeing it. We kind of saw it. Look at this. It lured in, it dropped a good 20 pips or so. And now look at that. Finally, prices starting to break out of it. Again, this was luring in sellers. So now what? All right, well, now we have an idea of what kind of the bigger, slightly bigger picture looks like. What are we looking at here in the smaller picture? Well, if I look at this, guys, I'll be real with you. This to me looks like we have a lot of money building up here as well. When I look at this, this is not a perfect line or anything like that. But doesn't this look like it was just the easiest retail buys in the world? Oh, look, it's getting into this area over here again. Let's just press that blue button. I see it like that, and that's what it looks like to me. So I'm like, you know what? I wonder if that was the case here. So what I think is I do think we can spike down into here and possibly take liquidity before some reversals. And if I show you more detail here, if I show you guys a little bit more detail, I do want you to notice something here. Last Monday, we saw price spike down. And then you can look up if there was a news event or if something caused this movement. This was last Monday. And we noticed this pushed price down pretty aggressively before the market just absolutely reversed. And then stabilized, but kept going higher. So if I'm looking at this, I see something like this. So, okay, guys, is it a coincidence, you think, that we saw liquidity building up over here? And then right below it, we have this very aggressive sell-off that pushes price down just slightly under this low, about 3-4 pips under. Arguably still looks like equalos to me. So with GBP USD not going into the smallest of time frames, because I'm not really a big fan of trading. Although I trade indices on the 1 minute time frame, forex, I don't have the same type of experience with the small time frames like that. 15, 1 hour, those are good structures that I like to play from zone to zone. So here, the only way I would take this, because when I see liquidity, this is a sign for me to stay out of the market. It might be the same for you, it might be different for you. But when I see liquidity, that's like, all right, cool. Let me not get anywhere near that. The problem is we could see price sweep this liquidity to then give us some reversals, maybe go higher. I don't know how far. Now, something like this is possible. The only way I would take this, because right now, these equal lows for me, red flag, not feeling it. But the only time I've seen these play out is, and only works, if Euro USD sweeps liquidity first. So take a mental note of this real quick. I want to show you what Euro USD might look like, because I don't know if this is what it looks like. But all right, cool. So for example, Euro USD has kind of a semi-similar setup, but you guys can see EU, some liquidity here. We can go to the 15. So, all right, cool, happened. Price comes down, sweeps these lows. So all of this area equal lows. Price gives us a higher high, and then it just keeps going higher. So we haven't seen price come back yet and close out this sell. Like we really haven't seen this go down over here. So there's still money sitting here. So it depends on how this works. Because this happened again on the 18th Friday. If I look at GBP USD, they're actually totally two different things. So GU and EU not as correlated right now as they can be. They're moving a little different. So that is something I want to notice though, is what do they look like? How different are these two structures? Because right now, this is one that could play out. I definitely can see it, but it lowers my setup. So if I were to give this setup a grade, right? If I would give this setup a grade, setup grade, I would give this like a B minus. And this is something you guys can do. Now, and then you can back test how frequently these work or they don't work. But the reason that I wouldn't take this is because of this liquidity. This is like, I can do without it. Because remember, you are the one that makes the decisions. You are the person in power. The market will do whatever it wants. So you can classify how high of standards you want to have with your setups. And I'm going to make this so it's very relatable to all of you. Think about how many people fit the standards of your dream partner. Right? Imagine the person you would want to marry. Ideally, you guys have high standards. I can't speak for you guys, but think about how you never see it, right? You hear it all the time. There's no good women around here. There's no good men left, right? So it's the same principles. You should be selective. You should have very high standards for the decisions that you're making. In this case, we're putting money on the line. Actually, in both cases, there's money on the line. But you need to understand that it's okay to just wait for the right moment to come, for the right person to come. So you have to qualify how you move your money. We had a couple people with low standards leave the Zoom. I'm just playing. I love y'all. I know some of y'all, you're just having Wi-Fi issues. But you do want to be really select. So this is a decent setup, but these equal lows, not a big fan. If Euro USD were to have a similar setup, and let's say EU were to get to the point of interest first, and then GU is kind of slower, it's kind of a weaker bear, then I would take GU, but only then. It's done too much. Y'all are funny. So this is a B minus. I wouldn't take this, right? And I'll make a note of what I'm seeing here as well. So here, liquidity reduces probability of success with this setup. Not terrible, but not one I would take unless Euro USD has similar setup and GBP USD is the weaker bear at the time. It reaches point of interest. All right, so I got notes for you guys there too, so you can just do what you will with that. Cool. There's GBP USD. This I'm gonna upload this on YouTube anyways, so I'll just share all of these there as well, but I need to keep them somewhere. Organize this ish. I'll post these up on here too. Today's the 21st, yeah. All right, there's GU. There's the first one. Man, we got work to do. We got a lot to go through. All right, I saw, what was it? I'll switch it up. I'll give you guys some gold setups. You know, y'all fiending for that gold. All right, let's get it. Gold. Woo. Who's been trading gold, man? Yo, gold has been wild. Gold has been wild. I've seen a lot of people really tapping in with gold. So shout out to y'all. I haven't taken a swing at this at all, probably for months. Someone's like, hell no, gold's wild. So hey, good stuff, Luis. Luis, you killing it, bro. So I actually prefer silver more often than gold. But yeah, it's just been so bearish. I mean, look at this, guys. And I gotta give shout out to some of y'all that have been just crushing it with gold. The last time I took a gold setup was actually this buy right here. This was my last setup. And I held this actually pretty decent, but I did not take it to the equal highs, which was my plan. But that was just, I haven't been swinging trades like this since like 2019. But that's a good 900 pip play. I know our boy Junior is in from like right here. He's still in that. So he's up like 800 plus pips or so. I think he almost cracked 1,000, but I know he's still holding it. So shout out the boy. When do you mainly trade indices? I shifted over to indices Q4 2019. I remember because I was in Medellin, Colombia, and when I was like just really hardcore back testing it. And then I remember the first account I opened with just trading indices, and yeah, I was sold on that. I was hooked. But all right, let's take a look at this let's zoom out a little bit. So okay, what do we know? Again, structure, guys, it's no brainer. We're bearish, super bearish on all time frames. You just can't escape, right? I never look back. Yeah, I'm like 98% indices setups trades for sure. Maybe I'll sneak in a forex or metal trade like once a month. So maybe we're at like 95%. All right, so super bearish, but what we do see is that there is a little bit of liquidity here. So at some point, I do think we'll get these moves. I do think we'll get up here. I'm not sure if it's going to happen yet, though. I don't necessarily think we're going to get there quite yet. Wasn't looking to use this arrow. Here we go. So the next point of liquidity I see is this. So you guys notice, so again, and I'm going to ask you guys questions. If price gets back to these levels, would you buy or would you stay out? If price falls back to these lows right here, 1885-ish, would you buy there or would you stay out of the market? What would you do? Wait for lows to be created, buy below the low, stay out, stay out. Look at you. Look at y'all. Y'all know what you're doing. All right, so yeah, you stay out, right? Now, if it goes below, well, I mean, well, let's see what else is going on below. Okay, we got equal lows there. Oh, look at all of this imbalance. Oh my. Oh Lord. Yo, that's a lot. Whole lot of pips. Whole lot of pips. So I wouldn't necessarily buy if it sweeps the low. I would definitely stay out because think about this setup here. Here we had relatively equal highs. Price went up. There are people that do this, and this is just a risky play. People go, oh, look, it swept the high. Let me just get in on the liquidity grab. Well, you would have seen, you know, a good 1,500 pip drawdown if you got into a sell here. And, you know, if you were moving intelligently. So obviously, you know, you can shoot your shot, but I only trade setups that make sense to me. I don't trade anything that's not my plan. no, I hope, no, maybe, no, I don't care. I know my odds with my plan, and I know my odds without it, and we're chilling. So I think the best idea would be to try to get into another, and I say try intentionally because this is not completely under your control. So you do want to see, and here price just missed, right? So I need to understand, did this actually mitigate price? Or will we get over here one more time? Will we get over here one more time? So let's take a look. We'd see that we have equal lows here. So there's a lot of retail buys, a lot of retail buyer positions locked in here. Okay. Now let me get into a smaller time frame so you guys can see what I was looking at. And so inside of this range, I see, hold on. Why is this like this? Okay, here we go. So as we worked our way down here, looks like I have to go to the 5 minute for this one. So here's what we see. There was a spike to the upside. So we already traded up, price came down, filled the imbalance, closed out the buy. And then from here, we see this, right? We saw price do this. Price dropped. So we were waiting for the imbalance to get filled. And then for market to close this out. So could it be that price really started to move right here? Looks like it, right? Price started here, drove everything to the upside, a good 40 pips before everything came down and kept going down. So when we zoom, when we go to look at what we saw, guess what? It looks like yesterday or last week's price movement, price action from Thursday. It looks like price got to this level Monday morning, tapped our zone, and down it went. So we could argue and see, well, I think the buy that opened up here got closed out. The only way to find out is if I zoom into this and I go on the 1 minute and really see what happened with price action. So let's do it. So let's go to the 1 minute. And what do we see? See price come down, go up, come down again. So to me, we don't really start moving up till right there. Right there. All right, so let's zoom out. Yeah, I'd say it's valid. So I wouldn't go for this again, this sell. Price just kissed our zone and then 130 pip drop. That's nice. Not that I was in it, but it was nice regardless. So I wouldn't take it again. We might get price to just, come back up here one more time, or it just, it distributes somewhere else. As of now, I'm chilling. Now, price did move very aggressively from 1885 to 1896. So we had a nice 100 pip push to the upside. There is a lot of imbalance here. And yes, we took these lows, but these equal lows, I'm not playing around with this. So I'm chilling. If we see a distribution on gold somewhere soon, then maybe. So if we're, the market's doing its thing, it starts to do something like this, and then it gives us a shift in momentum, then sure. Then I'll take this. I'll take this all day. Or I would take my entry somewhere like right here. I would definitely do that, right? Here we go. This is better. So something like this, then I would take that for sure. But obviously we don't know yet. So I'd have to wait. But other than that, if we don't, I'm staying out of gold. So I went over this because you guys asked. Now, I did get an alert on silver. So let me see what silver is doing. Because what silver shows us always helps. Do I prefer the shift in a certain time frame of momentum like this? Probably like the 15. So, all right. Gold or silver now. Silver came into a zone I've been waiting for a minute. That's why I got this alert. Okay, so it's getting really close. But here we had a spike up on silver from August 7th. So look at this spike up on August 7th, and then the market created an imbalance, just kept coming down. Remember, silver and gold, they move together for the most part. So let's see what gold looks like again. And if we're talking about August 7th, I mean, that's all the way over here. But this price action has already played out really nice. So if silver, right, if silver has finally filled this imbalance, and then we see silver also give us that distribution, silver's got a long way to drop. That's going to keep pushing gold down even further. So yeah, family, I mean, let's see what silver does, because if silver goes bearish and silver has a lot more to come down, that's really good news for gold sells. So right now it's starting to get close. It kind of looks like this is what we could be getting soon. So we'll see what happens. But if you are a gold trader, definitely make sure you're looking at silver so you guys can be on the same page. Okay, I heard a lot of GBP JPY as well. So look at GBP JPY. And it's been popping. GJ's been popping. Full send. Just no, I don't know what planet it's going for, but wow. I remember the days where GJ only traded in like the 130s. That's so funny. Right over here. You know, GBP JPY was just cooling, having a good old time. 2016. This is after Brexit. But just chilling, man. Trading here, minding its own business in the 130s, 140s. That's when it was wilding out. And then 2021, after that, it was just like, all right, we out. Peace. So yeah, we're chilling around here. I'd say we're like at the moon, not quite in, you know, Jupiter, but we're out there. However, we could be getting to the price where this is starting to run out of a little bit of steam. Now that we're getting to price action from November 2015. So right around these times, we did see pound start to lose a lot of value, and or yen. I think this was pound, yeah. So right around here now, one thing you can do is either look at price here. I'll leave that up to you guys. You guys can go research and just dive into this candlestick structure here and see, you know, are there sells? I guess I'll just do it. You know, are there institutional buys open from all the way back in December 2015? You know, could I be positioning myself potentially in, you know, like just really good spots? Could you possibly be getting into a swing position? And so can someone in the chat tell me where GJ price action's at? Because I do see an open position. I do see it. Banks, bro, they got no time limit. they do as they please. So there's a couple of different scenarios here. So if someone can just drop the price of GJ in this chat real quick, so I don't have to go back. There's a couple different things going on, right? 186.4, right? Perfect. So we already mitigated this. We mitigated this a little bit ago, last week or the week before. And now we're sitting at 186.48. Someone said 184. Those are very different prices. I think it's this one though. So what do we have then, guys? There's an imbalance here left over, and there's a push up here. So I'm going to see how much detail I can get in terms of, because TradingView, they know we're looking, so they don't actually allow me to go too deep into these time frames sometimes, especially if I go back in history. They start blocking me. All right, so here you guys can see what goes down. This is possibly, we're possibly looking at massive swing plays. Absurd, like arguably position trades, depending on how this plays out. GJ at 186.5 a share. Thank you, Reese. Appreciate you. So do you guys see what I see? Where we cleared out all of this. A lot of money here. You see price sweep the highs, work the lows, and from there, this buy's been open for almost 8 years. Them swaps. Okay. So let me see how deep I can get into this. Okay, sweet. I can still keep going. So we're chilling around here, 186.45-ish. We're only about 100 pips away from a sell in this area. Now, this is a big zone, right? This is about 120 pip zone. If you're planning to swing this for like forever, then honestly, not a bad deal. But you can look for smaller time frame entries. Let's see here. Now we got to the 4 hour. This is November. We can clearly see where the buy begins and it starts to sweep the highs. The market worked its way down. And then from here is really where we have that last drop. So I would take it somewhere around 87.75, 87.675, right around this range is kind of where I like it. Oh, this is blessing us with price action. So actually, we can zoom up a little bit right there. So right here is where it begins. Swoop to the highs, final push, but then we kind of play out of the zone. Consolidate, and it squeezes. Look at this. You have a squeeze for about a day. Sideways movement a day, and then it melts. So right around this area looks good. Looks really good. And I wouldn't even place my stop loss here. I'd probably cut it down to here because you already saw good price action play out of the zone. So I'm going to just put this right there. And then that's a 75 pip stop, which sounds like so much. But in a second, I'll show you why that might not be that much. All right. Oh, you know what? I messed up so bad. Oh, there we go. I thought it was going to take me forever to find this box. Okay. So right around here is where I'm looking. If we look at the weekly, you can see it pretty decent setup. We're playing inside of this extreme right there. I can go to the monthly too. Now, again, I haven't traded like this in so long. You guys are asking for it, and we're in very, very unique positions. The reason I like a setup like this, and I would even be willing to take a 75 pip stop, is because look at the amount of imbalance left behind over here. Like market started to really, really run in the 160s, 162.5, 165. So would you risk 75 pips to catch 2000? I don't know what swap's going to be like, but I mean, all right. The risk percentage is the same anyways. You choose how much you want to risk. Your lot size just changes. But I mean, yo, you know what I mean? Like, all right, that's cool with me. I'm for it. Now it would be a matter of how far do you want to take this? Do you want to play inside of just a recent, daily structure? Are you looking to play inside of a weekly structure? Because even here, like the market pulls down, and then from here is where this really just doesn't have any healthy price action. It just keeps going other than this pullback. So conservatively, even if, for example, it doesn't drop to here and you only take it to fill this buy leftover over here, you're still looking at almost 900 pips. This is still over a 10 to 1. So anyways, this to me, this is a setup that I like, and I can't believe it, but I'm gonna drop a monthly chart because it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild what we can see here. Again, I don't care about hype or even a lot of pips, or it does none of that matters to me. It's just a very unique moment for a play like this. So 187.75 is where I would have my sell, and then my stop, I think was like, I think it said 75 pips, so 188.5. And then conservative exit would be at the beginning of this move. So 12 to 1 here. And then you hear me, conservative exit at a 12 to 1. Goofy. And then yeah, we're looking at, I mean, it's over 2,000 pips, but this is, you're playing a monthly, weekly trade. This is absurd. This is a lot. So I'm gonna actually do 2 here. It's funny because we go from this to trading the 1 minute time frame on indices, you know, like it's kind of wild. But something like this, right? Something like this looks like a lot of fun. So 30 to 1 is a good time in my book. Again, this is way beyond normal situations, and this would require a lot of patience. So this is GBP JPY. I did not expect to be going over a monthly chart like that today, but it'd be like that sometimes. All right. All right, but guys, actually that's all the time I have. I have something else to take care of today. So I appreciate you all. I have a lot of love for y'all. We didn't get to go over too many pairs, but I do think we have valuable insight today. So conservative exit for this GBP JPY trade would be just sticking in this daily range, trading it down to where we have an open sell order from the past. And then if we are talking about a massive move, then it would be just filling the rest of this imbalance and working our way all the way down to here. What I will do is I'll drop these 2 charts here for you guys that are in the chat, and you guys have it right there. Appreciate you all for being plugged in. I will see you all in the variety of cities. So whether it's in Chicago, LA, Phoenix, Dallas, Miami, I'll see you guys there. Make sure you get your tickets so you can see that information on my bio. And I'll see some of you in Croatia. So I'll catch y'all later, fam. Till next time.